the Director of Language Arts Education for the Nebraska Department of Education. And so the view that I bring to you today is not just that of a state employee, not just that of someone from the State Department of Education, but of an elementary teacher, of someone who's been in the trenches, who's been there grading papers late at night, early in the morning, who's been there when we have kids who come to school hungry, who come to school not adequately clothed, and yet you're expected to have them all at grade level by the end of the year. You're expected to integrate technology, and you're expected to do all of these amazing things, right? Some of us might have heard, and this is with apologies to Charles Dickens, the phrase, "We live in the best of times and the worst of times." Right now, the best of times, the Olympics, right? It's been a great, great year. The worst of times, we know jobs are fading. We know that we have a lot of students who have been placed in harm's way because their families are in financial crisis. It was the age of wisdom, the age of foolishness. It was the season of light and the season of darkness. It was the spring of hope and the winter of despair. We had everything before us, we had nothing before us. We were all going direct to heaven, we were all going direct to the other place. So do we really live in the best of times, or do we live in the worst of times? I guess it depends on your perspective. So let's talk about some of the worst things that are happening right now, education-wise. As I said earlier, we're facing reduced funding. We're facing the loss of public confidence. It used to be that when you were an educator, people looked at you as though you were a miracle worker. You are indeed a miracle worker. Don't let anyone take that from you. But in these days, people are becoming more and more suspicious of everything, including the educational system. That's something that we have to overcome. We're facing larger and larger achievement gaps in our schools. We're facing a growing level of poverty. Just a little bit ago, I showed you the headlines with all of the financial crisis that's going on. We're suddenly under increasing scrutiny. Lawmakers are suddenly wanting to know what we're doing and know how we're doing. If you've been on the educational scene for the last few years, you know that Nebraska just instituted statewide assessments for the first time because our legislators wanted us to be accountable for what it is that we're doing in the classroom. That's okay. That's all right. But it's changing the landscape of education. It's changing the way people view educators. And I hope that people are remembering, as they see those headlines about the schools that are labeled persistently low achieving, I hope that they're remembering that there are kids who are attached to those scores, that there are teachers who are there working hard every single day. We're also facing more competition as education is becoming more and more privatized, and charter schools are starting to infiltrate our schooling system. Is competition a bad thing? Not necessarily, but it is changing the way we do business. I mentioned testing. Did I mention testing? More testing? How many of you are student teaching in 4th grade this year? Oh, good. You look so bright and happy and hopeful right now. You're not in the spring, so it's not as bad. 4th grade is really the year in elementary that you get slammed pretty hard. Lots and lots of testing that year, because that's a benchmark year. We want to know how kiddos are doing. But it's a tough thing when you basically stop teaching so that you can prepare for assessments. There are more and more demands on our time. Out here student teaching, you probably noticed that you'll be teaching away. You'll have this amazing lesson going. Things are just clicking, the kids are looking great, they're looking like they really understand you, and someone appears at the door. Or someone comes on the overhead speaker. Can you please send Susie to the office? Johnny's mom is here to give him his medication. And it just all seems like it crumbles away. So there's more and more demands on our time. So now we have to do things more efficiently and in a much better way. Moreover, we have increased requirements. Education is not what it used to be. How many of you are student teaching at the kindergarten level? Oh my goodness, a few of you. First of all, I think you all deserve sainthood, really. I spent one morning in kindergarten, and that was enough, really. I taught most of the time at 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade levels, and to me it was like herding cats all morning, just kind of running around chasing them, right? Okay, but even in kindergarten now, it's not what kindergarten was when you were in kindergarten. Most certainly it wasn't what I was in kindergarten 100 years ago. It's a very different place. But enough of the negatives. I don't like to focus on negatives. How about some of the best things that are happening in education? Are there good things happening? Yeah, absolutely. Several of those good things are happening right in this room, right at this university. We have lots of great things going on. This is Dr. Roger Breed. Dr. Breed is the Commissioner of Education in the state of Nebraska. One of the things that Dr. Breed is doing right now is that he has commissioned the writing of a white paper on saving community schools through the use of technology. And so I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what the contents are of that white paper. I can't tell you too much, but I'm going to give you a little peek. And then we're going to talk about some of the other things that we have going on in the state that I think are the best of times. Pictured on the front cover of the white paper right now is Louisa Paloma. She is the Nebraska State Teacher of the Year. And she is a kindergarten teacher, God love her. And she's also a very young teacher. She's only been out of school a few years herself. Absolutely extraordinary individual. She is doing amazing things with kids who live in poverty. How many of you came out of a classroom like this from your student teaching or from your current teaching experience? How many of your classrooms look roughly like this? And it looks like this teacher has active, engaged, happy kids, right? Okay, but I want you to look at something. How much have we really changed in 100 years? I love this picture because even though this is decades old, do you see kids you know in this picture? Because I totally do. Now my favorite student in this whole picture is to the left of the teacher. Do you see him? What's he doing? Looking out the window. Do you have students who do that? Yeah, we all do. So I want to go back and forth for a second here. Do you see a big difference between these two pictures? Not a lot of difference. We just have more things that plug in, right? My hope is that that won't be the only difference. My hope is that with this group of teachers, we will see amazing, durable changes. We will see technology used in ways it never has been before. So here are some suggestions that we have for making technology a tool, for making it real. The first is early integration. High quality early childhood experiences, not just in technology, but in every area. The next is the expectations for teachers to be experts at the integration of technology and content and pedagogy and discipline. Do you feel like you just do it all? So, how do we integrate technology? How do we do these things? We know that we have less and less time. We know that we have fewer and fewer resources. Well, we do that through PLCs and PLNs. So we have professional learning communities. You may have those within your school. We also have personal learning networks. This is one of the most important things you can establish for yourself. Sitting amongst you are members of your personal learning network. In the next year or so, you will be going all kinds of different directions. Some of you may be in the same community, but chances are very slim that you'll be in the same school. But you'll still be connected, right? Emails, text messaging. I know emails are for old people, right? Text messaging, instant messaging, social media, all of those things. On-demand professional development is huge. We're moving to an age where at any time, 2 o'clock in the morning, you can get online and get help with anything. You can find out how to do virtually anything you want. And shared resources. This is huge. If we are going to preserve our community-based schools, if we are going to preserve education, we've got to learn to share resources, and we've got to learn to do it effectively. So we needed to create equitable learning opportunities. Our school board decided that it wasn't fair for some schools to get laptops and other schools to not get laptops because of their parent-teacher organizations. So we had a group of teachers that decided that this wasn't okay at all. And so they started a program that enabled students to check out a laptop, to take it home, to get free or reduced priced internet connectivity so that those students had exactly the same advantages that the other students did, technology-wise. They created community centers where the students could go and have opportunities to get what they needed. My contention is that we should be able to do this at school for every student all the time, and that our expectations shouldn't be different. This is a big one, right? Especially for those of you who are cooperating teachers. You've seen this in your schools. Places where they are not embracing changes but resisting them, and moving to a place of conscious discomfort. We can do these things by utilizing our secret weapon. You are our secret weapon. You're a brand new crop of teachers who are digital natives. You are the future of education in Nebraska. It's you. It's the human capital in this room right now who is going to move technology forward in our schools and who is going to move our students into the next century. I want to talk to you just real quickly about our digital landscape. Essentially, it's talking about our generations, yours and mine. We have digital bridges. Digital bridges are the people who are trying to help the undecided and the refugees get over into that camp and become immigrants. The undecided are the people who are kind of not really sure. They might be still a little distrustful of the technology. And then we have the refugees. So if you run across a digital refugee, or if by chance there are digital refugees in this room, it's okay. We have a program for you. We have lots and lots of digital natives headed out into the world who are there to help you. And you will face this. Dear teachers, we trust you with the children, but not with the internet. Yours truly, the administration. It's okay. You can work with your administrators, you can talk to them, you can find ways to convince them. It might take some time, but to show them how effective technology integration is, and moreover, that it isn't just something fun and fluffy. Technology is for fun, it's for gaming. It's not for learning, it has nothing to do with it, right? Our world is changing. I want to show you this picture just because this is one of the coolest moments you can have as a teacher. I would be the short one in the middle. These are all former students of mine. And they are students who suffered with me through my second year of teaching and my fourth year of teaching. And they were with me as I grew as a teacher. And I was with them as they grew as students. And it's so cool to have them come back and visit. The three on the right are all students at UNL. The one on the left is a student at Chadron State. This is a group of children from Texas. They are third graders, and it's a great example of technology integration. I'm going to back it up. As you can see, they were pretty advanced, and they did win that contest for EAI technology to get all kinds of neat things for their classroom. I also want you to be cognizant of something called the 3 R's and the 4 C's. Reading, writing, and arithmetic, right? Okay, we know that. There's even a song about it. Okay, should I sing it for you? No? Okay. All right, and then the 4 C's. Communication, collaboration, critical thinking, and creativity. We see those things as being what is going to move our students into the future. So I hope that you'll apply these things, that you'll look at the kiddos you're working with and know that these are the skills that you need to be giving them. This is Dr. Robert Marzano. He says there's no magic bullets, only magic BBs. But if you give magic BBs to teachers who want to hone their craft, great things can happen. One last thing for you to consider. Please ponder this for a moment. So as I leave you today, I am not going to give you answers. I'm only going to give you questions, problems that you need to go out there and solve. Thank you very much.